Hey y'all, welcome back to Nini's Texas Kitchen. Today we're going to make something pretty simple but really delicious. We're going to make a loaf of homemade Texas toast with some sesame seeds sprinkled over the top while it bakes. It is a version of bread that is very similar to Cane's bread. If you're from the South, you know what Cane's is. So we're going to make this bread. It's really simple. What you're going to need is, I have a long loaf pan that I have prepared with some shortening, and then I just put a piece of parchment in so when it cools I can just lift the bread out on the sides. If you don't have a long loaf pan, you can use two short, like regular size loaf pans for this loaf. For the ingredients, you're going to need 3 cups of bread flour. You need 2/3 a cup of milk. You need 2 eggs, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 2.5 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of yeast. And then you'll need an egg with a tablespoon of water for the egg wash later. And then, of course, sesame seeds to sprinkle over the top. So, first thing I'm going to do is mix my ingredients into my flour for this. So I'm going to put my sugar on one side of my pan, like so. And next to that, I'm going to put my yeast. The salt, 1.5 teaspoons, it's going on the opposite side of my pan. From that, I'm going to put my 2 eggs right in the middle. And now I'm going to put it on my stand mixer. And put my hook on. And then when we're done making the dough, I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. But for now, we're just going to get it started. So I'm going to raise up this, and I'm going to pour my milk into the center. Like so. This is basically an all-in-one method for bread. Start out your hook slowly, and you can do this by hand if you want. It just, takes a little bit longer and more mixing to do it. This is an enriched dough, so it's going to be kind of wetter than what you might expect, but that's okay. So you just keep mixing it until it starts to form into a dough ball. I'm going to turn it down a little because it's still too much flour that's dry in there. You can see it flings out if you got too much speed on your hook at first. So it's starting to come together a little bit. So we just keep letting it mix like this. In a stand mixer like this, it'll probably take about 10 minutes or so to get it good. If you're doing it by hand, you probably want to hand knead it for about 15 minutes or so until it's smooth and you can see what they call a window pane, which is just where you can kind of see light through it if you stretch the dough. So I'm going to let this mix, and then we'll come back and show you when it's ready to go into that proving stage. All right, y'all. Our dough is about ready to go into prove. But I wanted to tell y'all, I forgot to tell you, you need to put 1.5 tablespoons of softened butter into it too with the mixer. So I did that, and so now you can see how smooth it is. It's literally super smooth, and it'll do what you call a window pane, which is where if you stretch it out, you can see how thin it can get, and you could see light through it without it tearing. That means your gluten is stretchy and it is ready to go into prove. So I'm going to take a little bit of oil and put it in my bowl, and you can put it into a different bowl if you want, but I'm just going to use the same one that I've been using, and I'm just going to roll it around in there and get it all covered and coated like so. All right. So now I will put plastic wrap over it and put it in to rise for at least an hour. Sometimes it takes an hour and a half. You want it to double in size, and the reason it might take extra time is because it's an enriched dough, so it has milk and eggs in it instead of just water and butter. So we're going to stick it in there, and once it's doubled in size, we'll come back and show you how to shape it and let it rise the final time before you bake. Okay, y'all, so I let it rise. It rose for about an hour and 15 minutes, and you can see it's more than doubled in size. So now all I'm going to do is turn it out onto this floured surface, and you want to kind of knock it down a little bit, and then we want to roll it out like so. And then all we're going to do is just get ready to roll it up like this. And I'm going to pinch the edges. And then I'm just going to turn the ends under like so. And pinch them all down too. Like that. And make sure it's, sealed up pretty good. Then I'm just going to take it like this and put it into my pan. And it'll make a nice loaf. So now it's got to rise for its second rise. So now I'm going to take that same plastic wrap that I had over my bag, and I'm going to spread it out, and I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on it like so that it won't stick to my dough. Then once it has risen, I will egg wash it, and we'll bake it at about 375 degrees for about 20-25 minutes or so until it's golden brown and done. So on to the next rise. We'll see you soon. All right, y'all, just took the bread out from its second rise. I let it rise and in my proven drawer in my oven for about 45 minutes. So now I'm just going to egg wash it. So I took one whole egg and a tablespoon of water and mixed them together, and I'm just going to brush it over the top and then sprinkle it with sesame seeds. So just like so, gently. You don't want to knock the air back out of it. You want it to stay poofed up. This egg wash will just give it a nice brown color on top. And it will also help your sesame seeds stick to it. So now just take it and sprinkle them over. And that's it. Now we're gonna wait for our oven to preheat. We're preheating it to 375. And then once it has finished preheating, I'm gonna put it in there for about 20 to 25 minutes until it's about golden brown and done. So we'll show you whenever our bread's ready. All right, y'all, our bread is done. I had it in the oven for 20 minutes and it came out. It looks really pretty. It's still hot. I'm letting it cool down before I slice it. It's important every time when you make bread, before you slice it, let it cool completely. That way you don't get tearing when you're trying to cut into the bread. But when you want to serve it, you can put some butter in a skillet and heat it up, and then put the bread in there like you're making grilled cheese, but without cheese obviously, and just grill it on both sides, and then you're going to have some awesome soft tender bread with delicious flavor. So if you like my video making homemade Texas a loaf of homemade Texas toast, please give me a thumbs up. leave me a comment down below. Please go share my video with others and subscribe to my channel if you haven't hit that subscribe button. And please go watch some of my other videos, or all of them. And I really appreciate you guys watching. We'll see y'all next time in Nene's Texas Kitchen.